Hi, this is Whitney with PolicyPak software. Have you seen all of the great least privilege manager features and wondered how that works with our MDM edition? Well, we've got you covered. You can create policies, wrap them up as an MSI, and use your own MDM service to deliver all of the same great settings you've seen in other videos. For this video, let's take a look at the idea of elevating a regular business application that would normally throw a UAC prompt. Before we get to that, though, let's take a look at this endpoint. Just so you know that we've got nothing up our sleeves, this machine is expressly not domain joined. We are not domain joined, so you know we're not doing anything sneaky. All right, so for our application that throws a UAC prompt, we're going to use Macroium Reflect as an example here. When I try to open it as a standard user, bam, I get a UAC prompt. Do you want to overcome that? Well, let's go over to our management station and fix this problem using your GPMC and our file exporter tool. Now that we're over here on my management station, here's what we're going to do. We're going to create a GPO and use Least Privilege Manager to create a policy that elevates Reflect. Then we're going to export that setting, wrap it up as an MSI, and deliver it to my endpoint using an MDM service. Now, I've already got my GPMC open, and I'm going to create a GPO called MDM Settings. I don't have to create this against any particular OU since we're not going to use group policy to deliver the settings. So let's go ahead and open this up and go over to the computer side to create our policy. Now, we're going to create a new EXE policy, and for this video, we are going to use a combo rule just to be super safe. Now we get to determine what file conditions should be met in order to elevate an application. We're going to choose both signature and file info and then click Next. Now it's time for us to select a reference file. I'm going to select this file, and it's going to ask us if we want to use the same file for the file info condition. So we will say yes, and we'll see that it has automatically pulled all of the necessary information for both the signature condition and the file info condition. So we'll click Next. We do want to run with elevated privileges, and Next again, and finish up. So now what do? Well, we are going to right-click on this file, and we are going to select Export as XML, and I will save this on my desktop as Elevate Reflect. And there we go. So now what? Well, we'll close out of our GPMC. We don't need this anymore. And we're going to use our PolicyPak exporter tool. It installs alongside the Admin Console MSI and can be found under PolicyPak in your Start menu. We are going to create a new MSI installer and choose Next. And now we are going to add existing files and grab that XML we just created. We will see that it is going to install for the computer since we made this on the computer side, and we're going to choose Next. Now let's give the installer a name so it'll show up nicely in our control panel when we get it installed. And we're going to say that the manufacturer is PolicyPak and click Next. And the last thing we need to do is give the MSI the actual MSI a name. We will just call it Exported GPOs. And go ahead and save. All right, that file is sitting right here on my desktop. So here is where we'll do just a little bit of movie magic. I'm going to pause my video while I get into my MEM Admin Center, and I'll come right back. And here we are. Now, notice that we already have the client-side extension installed as well as the license files. If we take a second and go back to my endpoint, you'll see that those two files are already installed on here, so we are good to go there. And so I'll come back over to my MEM, and we're going to add the file that we just created and go from there. So I'm now going to do that movie magic thing again where I pause my video while I get everything synced up, and then we'll come right back. And we are back. Let's check it out. We now have the file on our endpoint, as well as the license file and the CSE. Now let's check out Reflect. When we started this video, Reflect would throw a UAC prompt, and now, by using Least Privilege Manager with your own MDM service, we managed to elevate this application on a non-domain joined MDM enrolled machine. If this is as awesome to you as it is to me, sign up for our webinar and we'll hand over the bits and get you started on a 30-day free trial right away. Thanks so much.